Amigos de Summa Inferno, el día de hoy estamos con una leyenda del metal, ni más ni menos que con George Corpsegrinder Fisher, de Cannibal Corpse, que está presentando su primer álbum en solitario que se llama simplemente Corpsegrinder. George, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm pretty fine. And tell me about this new solo album. It's named Corpsegrinder. How did you get the idea to try something else for yourself?
Well, basically, I sang on Jamie Josta's second solo record. I did the song "They Want Your Soul" with him, and then a few months later, he just messaged me. He's like, it might have been a little bit longer. I don't know the exact time frame, but a little bit later, he messaged me and said, "Hey, man, let's do a record together. What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I think it'll be great." And so then he was sending me songs and whatnot, and I set up him and Eric, and set up the time, and we recorded it, and we're here now.
Very nice. How was to choose to work with Jamie Josta, Nick Belmore? How was all this production process? Do you have questions?
Well, no, everything was cool. It was great, but just Jamie had the songs, and then basically he's like, "Hey, just stay tuned." And then they went to the drawing board and started writing some songs, and then he would send me music and whatnot. I didn't record. I just recorded with Eric in Eric's studio, the vocals. It was just me and Eric, and we had the music that Jamie would send us. And if there was a question or we thought we needed to change something, we would go back and forth with him. But in general, it was just me and Eric left to do our own thing and record the vocals.
And this album is pretty brutal. I heard some songs, it's amazing. But tell me, what is the main difference between this whole project and Cannibal Corpse?
Well, I would say it has elements of death metal. There are some riffs that remind me of death metal bands. It has a lot of thrash metal influence, and I'd say some heavy metal, and a really, really huge portion of like hardcore music influence. And I think that one of the big differences, as well as the music, is the vocal patterns are more like they're more in a hardcore vein than they are just like a standard, not standard, but just like death metal. I think they're more hardcore. The phrasings and whatnot are leaning towards the hardcore side of things.
Nice. And did you need some creative freedom that you can't always have as a band member, because a band is more kind of democracy, and here as yourself you can choose everything that you will put in the album?
Yeah, here it was just basically we wanted it to sound brutal. I mean, I don't sing any other way than just death metal. I mean, that's my thing. So I wasn't really worried about having any issues. Maybe there were a couple of times maybe where Jamie said, "Hey, it sounds like you said this instead of this," and just small things like that. And that happens with me and Rutan ourselves. We're recording it. It's like, "Oh, it sounds like this," but I had freedom to do what I wanted. I tried to stay like following how they had the song, but if there was something that needed to be changed, we had total liberty to just change it and not worry about, really anybody else complaining about it or giving us a hard time. It was like, this needs to be changed. We'll fix it. We'll put this line here. We'll maybe extend it, maybe add in a word, if it's something small like that. And yeah, there was no problems. That Jamie was just like, "Look, do what you do." And that's what we did.
That's nice. Tell me, on stage, you're a butcher, but I saw your Instagram account and it's pretty different. You seem like a pretty nice guy, happy, cute, familiar. How do you manage to balance both aspects of George Fisher?
Well, it's just when you go on stage, the music is brutal, the lyrics are brutal, and you become just a slightly different person for a while. But I'm not much different, I don't think. I think on stage, maybe in the older days, I seemed a lot more angry and mad. And I just started thinking to myself, I'm older, and there's no point in it. It's just I'm here to we're on stage to have fun. We sure, the music is serious. The lyrics are serious as far as just how they're written and the grammar and whatnot. But we got to have fun. So and look, I collect Legos and I play video games when I'm home. I spend time with my family. That's what I do. That's who I am. I'm not trying to build this world of, look at George, he's really a nice guy. No, it's just, I just post the stuff that I like. I don't post a ton. I don't post 5-6 times a day. It's rare if I post 2 things in the same day. And it's just because, we got the Home Alone set, the Lego set, and I was like, we got to take a picture of it, And of course, my wife, she always gives me input. She's like, you should post this or post that. She wants me to post more than I do now. But I'm just like, I try not to just, pollute Instagram with too many of my posts, because if something catches my fancy, I put it on there. It's who I am. I don't know. I've been described as a big kid. I wouldn't say that offends me at all, because I probably am. I collect toys and statues and replicas of stuff and Legos and play video games.
Funkos.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Funkos across where I'm at. There's 4 Thanos Funko Pops right there.
What about maybe a George Fisher Funko in the future?
I wish. Yeah, of course, if they would approach me, I would 100% be a part of that. That would be great. I have a lot of Funkos already, so if I had my own sitting on the shelf, that would be amazing.
Still aiming, what do you play nowadays?
World of Warcraft still, video games. And I have been playing PlayStation 4 a little bit more lately. I play the Lego games for PlayStation. Yeah. I have some for Xbox. Looking across the other side of the room, I have an entertainment center with a big old TV. I have a PlayStation 2, a Wii, an Xbox 360, and a PlayStation 4 hooked up over there. So
that's cool. It's a little strange to talk with you about Legos and video games because every time you come to Mexico, everything gets so brutal. I remember you have to pause the show because people were starting to crush against the fans. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
At Knoxfest, the accident when someone even died in the mosh pit from a heart attack. What do you think about your Mexican fans?
Oh, it's great. We love being there. We love going on tour. Usually when we're playing, it used to be we go to Mexico separately. Now we try to put it together in a whole tour with South America and whatnot. It's always great. The fans down Mexico, South America are the most brutal fans there are. They're the most diehard, like just passionate metal fans. Of anywhere we played, I can't think of anywhere that's now we love everyone from everywhere, of course, but Mexico, South America is just untouched. Like, and as far as just the crowd reaction, they always do the soccer songs, in between the songs, and it's amazing. We feel love down there, and we love the people. We love the country. We love being down there. Those are the best shows. Those are the most passionate fans in the world.
Cool. And so you have plans to return to Mexico maybe in some months. I heard some plans that you already have even a couple concerts planned for Puebla, or I can't remember cities.
I'm not at liberty to say, but hopefully everything is back to normal, and we obviously would love to go back down. We have a tour for next month here in the U.S., and if that goes really well, then of course we're going to be looking to just be back out on tour like we normally would, and eventually, be back down there for sure.
That's cool. You see, some people see extreme metal as the last refuge for music that hasn't been manipulated by the music industry. What do you think? It's true?
Yeah, we just look. I think anybody who gets in a band, you get in a band because you love music, whatever kind of music it is. I think anyone who, if a bunch of guys get together and start a band, it comes from a love of music. And I think it's because it's so underground that people just haven't paid as much attention to it. I think, well, in the last 10 or 15 years, it's definitely become, more in the mainstream mind of people. I don't know if it's been untouched. I'm sure there's some bands that people think aren't as brutal as other bands, and they're doing it because they're not trying to, piss people off or anything. I don't know. I think everyone in a lot of music, especially in death metal, they're just playing for themselves. Like, if people like what we do, that's great. I don't think you started a band like, oh, I'm going to start this band and make a bunch of money and have a giant. I don't think it works that way. I never wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be in a band because I just wanted to be like fucking Slayer. I wanted to be on stage and touring and whatnot. Of course, if the money comes, that's great. I don't know. I think it's just not been corrupted because there's just too much love for it. We don't. If you don't want to sign us, especially in this day and age with technology, we could do it ourselves. But we had a relationship with Metal Blade for all these years, and they've been great to us. They never give us any hard time about, we should change this or change that, or you shouldn't put this out or you shouldn't put that out. They're not worried about any kind of controversy or whatnot. And it's not like we do things just to be controversial. We put out the records we put out. We hope that people like them. The music is brutal, and the lyrics need to be brutal. They're just basically like the lyrics are like mini horror movies. We don't have an agenda. We don't sing about politics. We don't sing about religion. So we just try to do our own thing. I think all the bands that are playing this kind of music are just doing their own thing. It's not really about catching headlines. It's just about writing good music, the kind of stuff that we would want to listen to.
I think you're a metal legend, and of course your influence goes beyond music. How do you feel you are immortalized as Nathan Explosion in Metal?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, when they first asked me to do it, I was like, wow, But I mean, okay, so Nathan's not me. That's he's his own thing, and I didn't. Well, I mean, well, okay. Let's put it this way: when I went over to California to do the first bunch of voices I did for Metalocalypse. They had a cubicle, and they had people working on Nathan Explosion, and it was all a bunch of pictures of me, headbanging, screaming, growling, whatever. And then Conan the Barbarian was there too. So they wanted a mix of Conan and me, and I mean it's pretty obvious, it's inspired by me and whatnot. I never did the voices for him. I did other voices, so. I mean, people always say that's you. Okay, I understand. I mean, but he's got his own thing, I guess. He has his own thing in some ways,
That I just said that metal is your thing, but you have ever tried to something else, maybe country or another style?
Oh, trust me. Every night after we play the show, not every night, but a lot of nights, I'll get on the bus. And then I'll put on some Waylon Jennings or some Willie Nelson or Johnny Cash. And of course I'll be trying to sing it, and I can't. I'm horrible, But you always think you're better than you are. So, but I don't, I can't really sing. I was made to do death metal. If I did anything else that was a different voice than what I normally do, I could probably sing some thrash metal stuff. We did a cover of a Possessed song, Confessions. And if people hear that, that's probably as far as I've ever been outside of the death metal box, because it's kind of like me, and I try to do a good rendition, tribute to Jet Becerra, So that's one that if I was going to do something else, I could maybe sing some kind of thrash metal stuff that wasn't as growling, but I don't know if I could do any actual singing. I'd probably get booed off stage.
But maybe you can try something different, like a Taylor Swift cover.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't think that would turn out so well.
Well, sorry, but I have to ask about your neck. Do you love your neck? People love your neck. You don't respect the neck.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
you didn't have problems getting crowds that fit something like, oh, I love that shirt, but it fits perfect.
Well, every shirt, I have to do this. I have to stretch it out a little bit from the neck for sure. You know, it definitely. There's a lot of times I get a shirt and I'm like, oh man, I put it on and it's like just suffocating me. So I got to stretch it out at the neck.
Well, George, thank you so much for your time. And amigos, no olviden escuchar el nuevo álbum solista de George Fisher, Corpsegrinder, que sale el próximo 4 de febrero. George, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.